this Team Legacy Peak. Okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is Jeanette Petruba, and welcome to our Tuesday every noon Central Time on Tuesday to our team call. And okay, got it. All right. And today we have some special guest speakers I'm very excited about. So I want to introduce them in just a second. But here we are at the end of May. Our team has had just an incredible month, and I'm just excited for this summer in the St. Louis area. We have our regional coming up. So if you don't know much about that, if you live in or around St. Louis or have anyone in that area, please reach out. We can help you get connected with a ticket and give you more details. But it's June 9th and June 10th. So Friday night, we have a dear friend of mine, Leanne Harris, speaking, and then the next day will be a training. So without any further announcements at this moment, I want to introduce our guests. So Brandy and Ken Foss are just dear friends of our families. We have known them for about 20 years. We know them only through this Juice Plus business, which is just a bonus. Just the relationships are such a bonus. And we lately have been trying to focus on couples and what this business has done for families and getting husbands or partners involved and really getting the kids involved also. So Brandy is an RN. They live in Washington, Missouri. They have 4 daughters, and they're just a delight. And so I'd love for Brandy and Ken to come on now and just share what this business has done for them, give us any tips, any thoughts, and just how excited they are for the future and for this summer with this business. So Brandy and Ken Foss, take it away.
Well, hello, everybody. So glad that we can join you today on this amazing team call. And, for those of you who maybe know who I am or who don't know who I am, I get the opportunity quite often to share our story. And not always do I have the opportunity to have this guy right here next to me, but we are on vacation, and it is because of him that we said yes 20 years ago. And so we're going to just start by sharing our story and then cast some vision along the way, because at the end of the day, we will say this Juice Plus product has forever changed our family's health picture, but this Juice Plus virtual franchise has forever changed our family's life. And it's kind of fun to just kind of see how that all unfolds. And so 20 years ago, we were introduced to Juice Plus. Honestly, we were going over to one of our best friend's house, and on a Friday evening, and I literally knocked on the door, and when she opened the door, she said, "Brandy, I found something that could help your postpartum depression." And as you heard Jeanette say, I'm a nurse by trade. And so my medical brain went off, and I was like, well, don't you think if there was something out there that could help my postpartum depression, my doctor would have already told me about it? And she was like, eh. And during that time, I just remember she was my girlfriend when we were pregnant together. She was the one eating whole food, like the carrots and celery. And I was eating the whole food, like the whole bag of potato chips and French fries. Seriously, I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I wish I could tell you that Juice Plus completely made sense when she introduced it to me. But I really did ignore it. But what I did was take the cassette tape home. Some of you might not know what a cassette tape is, but back then we had a cassette tape. I took that cassette tape home that weekend, and that one piece of literature that she gave us. And I laid it on the counter with no intention to look up what Juice Plus was, to listen to that cassette tape. And guess what? I worked that weekend, and Ken called me while I was at work. And he said, "Hey, this is something we need to do. And I said to him, have you lost your marbles? I'll never forget it. He's like, no, we do not eat enough fruits and vegetables, and it completely makes sense to bridge the gap. And so I went to support my girlfriend at her very first wellness event. Um, and literally in the first 10 minutes of that presentation, I got it. I got it as a mom, and I got it as a healthcare professional, because these were the statistics I would tell you that forever changed, honestly, the trajectory of our life. And that was, by age 3, children have fatty deposits in their arteries. That alerted me so much. I was like, oh my gosh, here I thought I was doing everything right with Kaylee. But obviously, you heard me say that I was eating whole bags of potato chips and French fries. And so that scared me. 1 in 3 children born today would have cancer in his or her lifetime. That scared me. And then there was some hope that 75% of all chronic diseases are preventable through proper nutrition. And those chronic diseases are cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and autoimmune disorders. And I was struggling with an autoimmune disorder at the time. And then lastly, we could repair our body up to 97% with proper nutrition. So the light bulb moment went off, and I couldn't wait to get started. Now, you heard me say that he totally got it. And when my girlfriend asked us to join in on the mission, I literally remember folding my arms like this and saying, I'm not a pharmaceutical sales rep. I'm a nurse, and I'm supposed to be taking care of sick people. And she said, but Brandy, you have a heart, you like to talk, just go talk it up and see what you can do. Right. And so what I'll share with you is maybe $50 to you all isn't a big deal. $50 20 years ago wasn't a big deal. $52 today. But there are many people that are a part of our team today that if it would have been more than $50, they wouldn't have necessarily said yes, right? And so I want you guys to just know that this $52 franchise is literally $1 million franchise sitting in the palm of your hands. The only difference is, with us being presidential marketing directors, is we've just talked to more people, and we perhaps have gotten more no's. And so I actually, I'm going to ask Ken right now, what not only did the product make sense, but this business made sense as well. Share with everyone why you saw that vision 20 years ago.
Okay, well, so back to the have you lost your marbles thing. I'm sure there are spouses or partners out there that probably thought the same thing for all of you on this call. Maybe not, but yeah, it's just a matter of looking into it. You gotta do your own research, and you have to look at the whole picture. And I don't even remember how many studies were back then.
7. There were 7.
Only 7 studies back then, and I'm like, well, there's enough evidence right there for myself. And then I had to obviously somewhat convince Brandy to look at it herself too. So yeah, I mean, it didn't take me much time at all to realize that it was going to benefit our health with potential to benefit our financial wealth. So I mean,
perfect.
It was an eye opener. I'm glad that we came across it. But you always have those blessings in your life that you meet someone or you hear it from someone. But doing your own research on anything in life, let alone just our Juice Plus products, is beneficial. So yeah, anytime you can, and the spousal support thing or partner support, that's huge, because whether they are there with you or at home helping out there when you're away, I mean, it's I think it's a huge benefit for families. So anything that you can do to help your spouse, as long as you believe in it and trust in it, I think it's huge for families.
So right now we are all about impact and income. So I get probably more excited about this income opportunity versus the health. Now, I think they're both amazing, right? But I share that with you because 20 years ago, I was more hesitant of saying yes at the time because of finances, right? I was the first person from either side of our family to graduate from college. And so I always just felt like I was supposed to be this nurse, right? I didn't have that bigger picture. Trusting the process is so important. And so, though, I feel like we've done this business together, and we've had that trust because from day one, we've always created an income, right? So that first step in our business, I wanted to cover our cost of the product, right? And so our first check we got after 2 weeks in this business was $130. Might not sound like a lot, y'all, but our family's product was about 110 for him and I and Kaylee at the time. And we only had the fruit and veg back then. So that first check that came gave me a vision of what if I could increase our paycheck by $100 each month by helping 5 people, right? That was my vision, because that residual income is what is so profound, right? And so I'll never forget it. And I'll say this, if we had never made more than $800 in this business, it forever set us up for success. And I'll share with you why. One,
Well, let me cut her off. So the financial part of it is, once she realized that just our family taking it and seeing that income, is that my wife loves to talk. So I knew when she would talk to people, I'm like, multiplication, baby. You know, I was like, yeah.
So I personally made a decision at that time to host an event in my house for a year straight every week and focus on the number 5, right? Because I knew that if I could get somebody in front of me, it was probably going to be a done deal, because that's what it took for me to get the bigger picture, right? And so I focused on the number 5 because social media wasn't around 20 years ago, right? Just the good old phone was around. And I knew that I could make 5 calls. That was a very tangible number for me. Working full-time as a nurse, I used my time in my car as my university and to make these calls to invite people to. And generally every week I would have 1 to 2 people in front of me. And there were some weeks that people didn't come, right? I had no shows. Trust me, I still have no shows. But at the end of the day, a lot of times those no shows is because I probably didn't put forth the effort that I probably should have. All right. So our check continued to increase. And this is when I said that even if we would have never made more than $800, it was still a blessing, because even though I didn't feel like we were living paycheck to paycheck, we didn't have extra money to go on vacations. We didn't have extra money to start a college fund. And what was really important to me at the time, not necessarily him, was to send our children to a private school. That was really, really important to me. And so that first $800 literally was the first 100 covered our cost of Juice Plus. When I increased again, the next 100, we started a college fund for Kaylee. All right, y'all, that in itself, she just graduated a year early, 3 weeks ago, and she graduated debt free. Not just because of him and I, like, she definitely had skin in the game as well, paid for half of it through scholarships, but we were able to pay her room and board. And because of this business, right? And here, now that we're just talking about Kaylee for a hot second, she joined this mission when she was 18. We did not pay for her partnership. She came to us. We've sat down, we've gone from one daughter to 4 daughters, but we have said, we want them to realize their dreams and goals as well. And so, of course, we want them on this mission with us, but I don't ever want them coming back to us saying, you made us do this, right? So she didn't become a team member right at 8, like on her 18th birthday. It took her a couple months, and she came to me and she said, Mom, I'm ready, right? But that her business, her Juice Plus business, is truly what she used that check as her spending money in college. We didn't give her any spending money. And if she was here today, she would share that with you. Like, that's what she lived on in college. So it's been a blessing all the way around. But back to these $100 increments, right? So then we started the college fund. Then we got life insurance. And so that is something that in my heart, everybody needs. You just don't know what we don't know, right? And, Ken thought it was a waste of, he still thinks it's a waste of money. He does not like term insurance, right? But at the end of the day, the reason why that was so near and dear to my heart is because there was a family in Washington whose husband and dad passed away and his children were in grade school. And I thought to myself, I never would want that to happen, right? And then lastly, the vacation funds. So what I can share with you is by reaching out and being consistent with really just for me, that perfect number was 5, helping 5 people a month has residually grown our paycheck over time. Now, it's not just about getting customers. To this day, even on our way out of the St. Louis area on Sunday, I met a friend in the bathroom. You never know where I'm going to randomly meet people, but I'm just here to tell you guys that this product is for everybody. And I believe this business could be too if they could get the bigger picture. But point of that is no matter where I go, if I offer this product, you better bet that I'm offering this business right alongside with it. Because if the product makes sense, this business has to be a no-brainer. Who doesn't want to cover their cost, and honestly, create an income that can forever change somebody's future, right? Maybe you don't have a dream to be a national marketing director. Guess what? I didn't either. But what I do have, and he has, is a heart. How can we keep something so good to ourselves? To me, as a nurse and as a mama, and honestly, as a Jesus lover, I feel like it's because of him that we have what we have. And why would I not be obedient and follow through with what somebody was bold enough to share, right? Again, it's a numbers game. I'm not going to kid you there. You're going to get yeses, you're going to get nos. But the reality of it is the fortune is in the follow-up. So let's fast forward 20 years later, right? We could say blessing after blessing. In fact, probably the biggest blessing, for those of you who don't know our story, 16 years ago, I didn't step out of nursing because of this business, right? I actually stepped out of nursing because I was placed into an unethical situation after having baby number 3. And I knew in that moment that I wasn't a number to corporate America, and I knew that I deserved respect. But I could not fathom myself. I couldn't fathom the thought of not me being a nurse. However, I can't fathom my life now, to be honest with you, and it looks completely different than I ever anticipated. But the reality of it is this business has given us options that I never dreamt of, and options that I still don't even, those dreams are going to still come true, that I don't even probably know, right? And so that biggest blessing was that I got to come home to be a working mom from home when it wasn't the norm 16 years ago. And not only that, it showed my girls something different. It showed Ken something different. And had I not loved on enough people and cared and shared the way I did, because at that point, 16 years ago, we were making about $2,500 a month with our Juice Plus business. And that literally was our fun money. Like that in itself, imagine what would you do with an extra $2,500 right now, right? I mean, think about that, $2,500. And so that $2,500 was enough for me to make that decision of, Ken, I just think it's time for me to come home and be a working mom from home. And honestly, had that not happened, and it was a big blow, like I felt terrible. I didn't want to, but I knew it didn't feel right. I don't think all these other doors would have opened. And so when I think about this bigger picture too, I think about raising my girls in this community. My girls follow Tori all the time on social media. Like, when after Tori, I don't know if it was baby number 2 or 3, Tori, that we were at the Branson boot camp, and you could enjoy the Branson boot camp because my girls were taking care of your baby or babies, right? But the blessing of this community too is priceless. Like I sit here and think, we've always used this business in our family as a reason to build this business. And so quite often, every time I went to a boot camp, I really did bring a baby. In fact, honestly, for 5 years of my life, I was either breastfeeding or pregnant inside of this business. And so it was just easier to bring the babies, right? But it's this community that even gave a bigger picture to my girls today. And knowing the people inside of this business is what has given not only Ken and I a bigger vision, but have given our girls a bigger vision today. And so we just,
And not only the community, but the relationships that you create are amazing.
right. Relationships aren't something, relationships are everything, right? And so we invite you to lean in just a little bit more. I know Jeanette started out at the beginning of the call talking about the St. Louis Regional. If you live in the St. Louis area, you definitely want to get there. If you live within a 2 to 3 hour radius, you definitely want to get there, right? But there are definitely events happening all over the world right now that you can plug into. In fact, let's just rave about these watch parties right now. I think about this week. We have the opportunity with Dr. Sears on Thursday. Next Thursday, Wendy Campbell. And then 2 Thursdays after that, or maybe it's the following Thursday, it's Dr. David Phillips. Point being, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do what I did 20 years ago and host an event and be the speaker. Really, all you have to do is invite people to come on along, plug in, and let somebody else share the story, right? Because after all, the third party validation is what's so magical anyways. So lean in, and actually, I hope you all have a pen and paper right now. Like, what is that number that number that would forever like get you excited and think, oh my gosh, if I had just an extra $500 right now, this is what I could do, right? Or 1,000. I don't know what that number is, but I want you to write that number down. And then I want you to lean into your support team and share with them why that number would be so impactful. Because in my heart right now, yes, we've been around for 20 years. We are so excited about the time right now to continue to build this business, continue to invite people in, because we really are in a time where, let's just be honest, an extra $500 is so impactful for people, right? And you know what? The more we don't make it about ourselves, I'm going to tell you, the more lives you're going to impact. That truly is the key there, right? Like I sit here and think, we all have been given different gifts and strengths. And when we can lean into each other together, we are better, because we've all been gifted something a little bit different. And that's the blessing. So Jeanette.
Okay. I would love, okay, that was amazing. I'm so glad it's recorded. But Ken, I would love for you to just wrap it up and say what this kind of lifestyle where you have a stay-at-home wife and what just all the blessings that it's done. I'd love to just hear just a little bit more from you, Ken.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. It's amazing. There's no other way to explain it other than the support or digging in and being a part of it, no matter how that looks. Like I said before, how you support your spouse or your partner, whoever it may be, with its kids, the home, her job, whatever it may be. I don't know. I can't even explain the difference it's made in my life, just because I didn't really come from much. We didn't do a lot of vacations, and the ones that we did, I remember, so I wanted to repeat them. It just wasn't an option. We weren't available or able to do that. But now, it's like our kids, we're creating stuff for them and memories of lifetimes on a pretty consistent basis that only because of this and saying yes to this amazing opportunity has given us. So I mean, yeah, I'm extremely blessed. I'm glad that maybe, you know, my wife was away that weekend because I was able to listen to that tape and do my own research. But yeah, it's been amazing. I am so grateful, and I'm super excited about what the future has for us and this company and everyone that's involved in it. So come on along, join us, you know, get the boys and the men out there. And I mean, it's extremely important for that. And if you have any questions, I mean, you know how to get a hold of Jeanette or Brandy, reach out. I mean, I'd be more than happy to talk to them. I know there probably should be more men calls out there. I'm kind of the back. I'm always in the, well, what's the word?
Background?
Yeah. Off in the background when we do these things, but, you know, because I'm either cleaning up or prepping food or, you know, tending to the kids, maybe running them places. But yeah, I'm always there for support no matter how it looks. And that's extremely important. But I'm so grateful. And I can't wait to meet more men and boys that come along and join us. What's that?
You're the MVP behind the scenes. That's what you are.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And you know what?
I appreciate that.
We are excited for North Carolina, for Charlotte, because we have more couples coming along than ever before. And when I look at that, my ultimate jam is keeping families intact, right? Well, how do you keep families intact? Husband and wife, and then you bring the kids along, right? And we'll close with this. I think I could get a little bit teary-eyed here, but Kaylee just graduated, and this last semester she nannied for a radiologist, and she's a single mama. And Kaylee came home, and she said, "Mom, I got it. I got it. I never realized the importance of you being present. Like, we had the best of all worlds." And she said, "This is what I can share with you. Yes, I'm going to go on and I'm going to be a physician's assistant. But one day when I'm a mom, I'm going to model what you did for us." And that in itself is unbelievable, right? We are a 2-income family. Like, hats off to all the spouses out there who don't get to be hands-on or don't get to be that hands-on parent like I get to be. But we call him during the day, right? And he's got a hard job. He's a driver for UPS, and he's putting lots of smiles on people's faces through the day. But we don't get to see him. It's not a family-friendly job. But I do know this: he's got 9 years left before he retires. And what's super fun is we have many years together that we can continue to grow and create memories day after day. So as we end, we're not only inviting you to Charlotte, October 26th through the 28th, but we're inviting you to invite your spouse to come on along, because it's magical. And the more we can keep families intact, honestly, the bigger blessings we are in this world.
Bring the kids too, because even if our kids aren't going to be there, I'm pretty kid friendly. So I've done that many times over the years.
Brandy, Tori wanted me to share this. It's Elizabeth.
Oh, it's Kennedy. I didn't even.
Oh,
It is Kennedy. So is this Elizabeth?
Your pictures kind of covered up, you know, her head, so we couldn't recognize it at first. That's funny.
Which baby is that? Was that Elizabeth?
That's
Yeah.
Elizabeth, who's 8 now.
Oh, look at, I'm telling you, like, unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a camp. And as most of you know, I've just had the incredible blessing of having my daughter-in-law, Allie Vitruva, and my daughter, Tori Davies, join us in this business. And Tori, when she was 11, she went to her first conference. And so, make a vacation around these conferences. She just simply said, "This is what I want to do when I grow up. I want to be a mom, and I want to share health through Juice Plus with people. And I want to grow a business and help other moms be able to stay home if that's what they want." So we have lots of people that work for full time and have this great income on the side. And I tell people it's not a get rich slow, but man, oh man, it can be a get rich. I mean, it's not a get rich quick,
Yeah.
but it can certainly be a get rich slow. And so it's just, it's wonderful. So options, options, options. And when you have your time and you have your health and you have your finances, when you have those bases covered, and of course, as Brandy said, you have your faith, you can do anything in this world. So Brandy and Ken, I cannot thank you enough. I know our team has just is going to be blessed by this call that's recorded and on our Facebook page over and over again. So I love you all. And